When The Shawshank Redemption was released in 1994, it wasn't a hit. In fact, it struggled at the box office. Competing against films like Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump, Shawshank was overshadowed. But over the years, something remarkable happened. It didn't just survive, it became one of the most beloved films of all time. Today, it tops greatest movie lists, it's endlessly rewatched, and it holds a special place in the hearts of millions. So how did a movie that underperformed in theaters become a timeless classic? Let's break it down. First, the story itself. Shawshank is about Andy Dufresne, a banker wrongly convicted of murder. He is sent to Shawshank Prison, where he spends decades enduring hardship, cruelty, and despair. But through quiet determination, intelligence, and an unshakable will, Andy never loses hope. He forms a friendship with Red, played by Morgan Freeman, and slowly builds a life inside prison walls. And in one of the most satisfying payoffs in movie history, Andy escapes through a tunnel he spent 19 years digging, and finally finds his freedom. The plot sounds simple on the surface, but it's how the story is told that makes it unforgettable. This isn't just a prison movie. It's a story about hope, friendship, and the human spirit. And those themes speak to audiences everywhere. Second, the performances. Tim Robbins plays Andy with quiet strength. He doesn't shout, he doesn't break down, he doesn't make big speeches. Instead, he plays Andy as calm, patient, and almost mysterious. You never quite know what's going on inside his head. And that makes the ending even more powerful. Then there's Morgan Freeman as Red. This is the role that cemented him as one of the greatest narrators in film history. His voiceover guides us through Shawshank, making us feel like we're right there with him. His narration isn't just background. It's emotional, poetic, and deeply human. When Freeman talks about hope, you believe him. It's hard to imagine Shawshank without that voice. The chemistry between Robbins and Freeman is the heart of the movie. Their friendship feels real, earned, and moving. This bond keeps the movie from becoming too dark, even in its toughest moments. Third, the direction. Frank Darabont, making his feature debut, adapted the story from a Stephen King novella. King is known for horror, but here the horror is everyday cruelty inside a prison. Darabont balances despair with small victories. Moments like Andy playing opera over the loudspeaker, or the prisoners enjoying cold beers on the rooftop, give us glimpses of freedom. These scenes matter because they show how dignity and humanity can survive in even the harshest places. The cinematography by Roger Deakins also deserves mention. The shots of the prison are grim and gray, but the outside world is full of light and color. When Andy finally crawls through the tunnel and emerges into the rain, the camera captures one of the most iconic images in cinema. It's not just Andy escaping prison, it's Andy being reborn. Now let's talk about why Shawshank struggled at first. In 1994, it had no big stars that could guarantee box office success. The title itself confused audiences. And as I mentioned earlier, it was released the same year as Pulp Fiction and Forrest Gump. Those films dominated the conversation. Shawshank was nominated for 7 Academy Awards, but it didn't win any. But when the movie hit VHS and later television, it exploded. People who skipped it in theaters discovered it at home. On TV, it became one of the most rewatched films ever. It was the kind of movie that, once you started watching, you couldn't turn off. And through word of mouth, Shawshank grew into a phenomenon. Why does it connect so strongly with audiences, even decades later? Because it speaks to something universal. Hope. We all face struggles. We all endure unfairness. But Shawshank reminds us that perseverance, intelligence, and patience can overcome even the darkest situations. The line, "Hope is a good thing, maybe the best of things, and no good thing ever dies," isn't just dialogue. It's a philosophy. It's why people return to this movie again and again. Another reason is the ending. So many movies build up tension, but fail to deliver a satisfying resolution. Shawshank doesn't disappoint. Andy's escape is meticulously set up, and when it finally happens, it feels both shocking and inevitable. It's cathartic, it's joyful, it's perfect storytelling. And then there's the final scene on the beach in Zihuatanejo. After everything we've seen, after decades of suffering, we get hope rewarded, we get friendship reunited, and we leave the movie feeling uplifted. The Shawshank Redemption is also a story about time. we see how prison changes people. Characters like Brooks, who can't survive outside after being institutionalized, show the tragedy of losing freedom for too long. We see Red struggle with the same adjustment. These moments add layers of sadness and realism that ground the movie. It isn't just a fairy tale. It's a reflection of real human struggles. So what makes Shawshank a classic? It's the combination of all these elements. A powerful story about hope and resilience. Performances that feel timeless. Direction that balances despair and beauty. And an ending that leaves audiences uplifted every single time. When you look back, it makes sense that Shawshank didn't need to win Oscars or dominate the box office. Its legacy came later. It grew in living rooms, in late-night replays, in VHS rentals. It became a cultural touchstone not because of hype, but because it earned a place in people's hearts. Today, nearly 30 years later, Shawshank is more than just a movie. It's a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's proof that hope, patience, and friendship can outlast cruelty and despair. And that's why it isn't just considered one of the best movies ever made. It's one of the most meaningful. So the next time you hear Morgan Freeman's voiceover or see Andy raising his arms in the rain, remember why Shawshank still resonates. Because at its core, it tells us something simple but powerful. No matter how hard life gets, hope can set you free.